I could get used to traveling like this, Edna. This old VB-1 doesn't have the armor or firepower of the VB-2 gunship. There's a lot of them. Maxson seems to be putting them to good use. Who is Maxson? You must be pulling my leg, Edna. I see. Well, it's a good thing I didn't wipe your entire memory when I installed that stealth module. Sorry, I'm not a better iBot mechanic, Edna. Blame it on my clumsy fingers. When we get to the Pridlin, we'll have you looked at. Until then, I'll fill you in. Elder Arthur Maxson is the last surviving descendant of the founder of the Brotherhood, Captain Roger Maxson of the United States Army. Roger was a faithful soldier of the U.S., a rebel, then a deserter. He founded perhaps the most enduring group of people this wasteland has ever seen. I suppose greatness runs in the family. You can trace it right down the line. His son helped contain raiders in New California, only to fall in battle with vipers, nicked by a poisoned arrow with his helmet off. His legacy became the near extermination of the fanatics. Like General John Maxson, who led the Brotherhood through the Unity Crisis, and together with Rhombus, ushered in an era of peace and prosperity as they worked side by side with the nascent Republic. That was before we ruined it. Yes, Edna, the long night, the Brotherhood War, the separation of the DC bunker under Owen Lyons. I distinctly recall him as a very capable warrior and tactician, the embodiment of Brotherhood's martial values. But as a leader, well, he did find Liberty Prime and scoured the pit, but the historical record isn't all rainbows and mentats. 2255, he arrives in the capital wasteland, finds Liberty Prime, and sets up the Citadel as a permanent eastern stronghold. And then, rather than uphold his mission, he goes Ahab. For 20 years, he chased his white whale, the super mutants from Vault 87, all over the capital wasteland. It very nearly cost him his chapter. It got him disowned by the West once they realized he was wasting men and material and hunting down mutants, rather than upholding his mission. And then there was the whole debacle with the Outcasts, who separated from Lyon's force after he denied them permission to excavate Fort Independence to uphold their charter. It was 2276. Imagine just how loyal Kasdan and his men were. They stood by Lyons even when he was cut loose by the West. And then they left, and the weakened chapter faced the Enclave alone. They won, of course, with the help of a certain lone wanderer, and Owen Lyons died about a year after that. The mantle passed to his daughter, Sarah. I wonder if you remember her. She was a sentinel and a capable warrior. That doesn't make you invulnerable. Not even a year after the defeat of the Enclave, the Citadel lost both Lyons, one to age and the other on the battlefield. Sarah Lyons was a tragic loss. They tried to cope with it by electing one elder after another. The construction of the Pridwin started around this time. The Brotherhood was rebuilding its strength, slow as it was. More importantly, they didn't stay in the way of Arthur. The current Supreme Commander was originally sent here to be Lyons' ward, back in a time when the West still spoke to him. Could be that his mother also wanted him out of the politics of Lost Hills. The heir to the Maxon legacy could be a powerful asset for anyone who wanted to control him. I think isolation did him good, though. He trained under very capable warriors and had excellent tutors. Though timid and restrained as a child, when he started becoming a man, quickly showed promise. At 12, he saved his training squad by taking out 2 raiders about to ambush them. At 13, he fought a Deathclaw in single combat and won, earning himself a disfiguring scar in the process. At 15, he defeated Shepard, a super mutant trying to band together the remnants of Capital Wasteland super mutants, which earned him the command of the DC chapter. I know it sounds far-fetched, Edna, but I have no reason to doubt the records or Quinlan's attention to detail. You might think it's unlikely, but then again, so does the story of a green vault dweller single-handedly taking out an entire mutant nation, a tribal saving humanity from global genocide, or a random courier surviving a slug to the head and then deciding the fate of no less than 3 wasteland powers. Maxson became elder when he proved to be not only a warrior, but also a diplomat. In 2283, at 16 years of age, he reunited the Outcasts with Lion's Brotherhood of Steel, forming the new Eastern Division. Now he's the Supreme Commander, and as the Brotherhood wanes in the West, it waxes here in the East. If Roger Maxson was the founder of the Brotherhood, then Arthur is shaping up to be its restorer. Little does he know that the Commonwealth is likely to prove his biggest challenge yet. But that is a story for another day.